Hey everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit. I'm one half of the DungeonSwag.com team, and we're in the 3.5 Monster Manual, and we're working on the Mephit. There are several different types of Mephit, and they're all about 4 foot tall, and we're going to make a Mephit, and then maybe, depending on how it looks, figure out what kind of Mephit it's going to be, because they're all very similar. And when you're working with stuff this small, unless you have the right miniature to do something with that, to make something with that, or, you know, you're just going to do the best you can. My thing is I'd kind of like to have an ice Mephit, but I don't need one. So let's see what we can come up with and go from there. So I'm just getting baking soda and a small bingo token kind of deal. Because this is a size small miniature, we want a size small base. And then we're not quite done with this base yet. At this point, we have some more things we got to do. We're going to need a flight stand. So I've got this paper clip here. And it's got like a plastic coating on it, and I think that'll help it take paint well, I hope. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get the tiniest dab of glue on here, and then I'm going to spread that around on the center of the base and try to get that good and stuck. It doesn't have to be in the exact center, but, you know, ballpark-ish, right? And then we want that to be sturdy, so we're going to spill some glue down it in a couple directions. Okay. And sprinkle some baking soda on it. Just strengthen that up. And then we're just going to hit it. Oops, sorry. One more time, we're just going to get some more glue. Let it run down there, just because we want to have a good solid base. Now, anytime we're using anything with a flight stand, it's good to put some stones on here for counterweight. And I'm just going to start with some of these smaller rocks here. And I'm just going to get a couple of the chunkier ones out of here. And I'm going to mount them just around and about. Oops. I'm just looking for some of the fatter stones that might have a little more weight to them. And I'm just going to dibby dab a little glue onto those so they stick to the base. And I'm going to set that in front of the fan to get hard as a rock. Alright, I'm setting this aside. And our sacrificial lamb for this craft is going to be this tiny little 25 millimeter or really small warrior thing. She is tiny. Here's a regular size miniature, and I have a bunch of these, so I kind of can just use them freely as I see fit. But she's just the tiniest little thing. If it is a she, I don't know. It doesn't really have small. I can't really tell what it's supposed to be. And I'm just snipping off the daggers. And then I'm going to get her off this little base. And that plastic's really soft, so I had to come back and, oh, I cut her foot right the hell off, didn't I? I did. How can I fix that? Can I fix that? Then we'll come back after that cools and snip that off. Oh, I stretched it out before that could happen. Oh, there we go. Okay, that'll work. That's enough to where it's good enough to look like a foot again. All right, so we need wings for her. I had some other wings and some things went badly and I had to start over. So what I have here are just some how to train your dragon wings. And she's pretty small, so what we're going to do is we're going to take those off before that bump part on the wing. And then we're going to, starting from the middle here of that thing, I'm going to try to do these symmetrically the best I can. And I did poorly. I did poorly. Okay, how did I do that? Oh, because the wings were not molded the same. That does not help your cause ever. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 3. All right. I'm going to get a dab of glue on her back just to hold these in place while we're working. Okay. I'm going to mount wing 1. I suppose you could make your fairies and pixies this same kind of way if you had better wings. Okay. And then I'm going to get back in here. I'm going to hold her by the foot. I'm going to get back in here with that glue. And I'm going to snip this off to get a better bite. There we go. There we go. Now they're a little more even. I'm going to get in here with this glue. I'm going to rub that around. Get a little bit of surface area to work with. Now I'm going to take this and get the minor burning hand spell and remove spider webs. I'm going to get a dibby dab of glue, just the tiniest bit. I'm going to smear that around with this wooden thing here. Okay. Looks like we're going to need to do a little more reinforcement on that. So we're just going to come back here, get a dibby dab, and a dibby dab. I'm going to spread that around some so there's more contacted area. Okay. Let's go get our base. Everything's looking pretty sturdy and good. We're going to get a dab of glue. Just a tiny little touch of glue. And I think the best place to mount this would be near his whatever's midsection. So I'm going to put it right in the crotch. Like that. And I'm going to try to clean up any excess glue that doesn't need to be shoved up in there for comfort reasons. I'm going to drag that glue up onto its butt a little bit. Then I'm going to get my minor burning hand spell. Get rid of any spider webs. There we go. Whoa, 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 whoa. Come back, you. Don't go anywhere. Okay. Okay. All right. All right, that's a good start for our Mephit. A little too much baking soda in here, but when you're working with this really small stuff, I can't always promise you great results anyways. It's really hard to see where you're doing, and it's hard to control the flow of what you're doing unless you have really delicate hands. I don't mean delicate, but not delicate. Whatever the word is for that. Whatever hands I don't have. I'm just going to get some paint. I probably put way too much on there, but that's okay. And I don't even think I coated it evenly. But I do have great news. We are not professionals here. We're just people in our shops doing the best we can on a very small budget. And perfection is just not going to be always part of the formula of what we got going on. To make my life a little easier, I'm going to get some tape. Because anytime I overspray like that, and I've shown you guys this before, it makes this tacky. And then while you're working on it and painting and stuff, it kind of sticks to it. So I'm just going to grab this and drag it around. Get rid of that majority of that tacky area so I can handle this freely. I need to go get some more, whatever, this masking tape. All right, so I've decided I want to do mine as an ice method, I think. That seems fun to me. So I'm going to start out with a blue color called a wart blue. And I'm going to get a brush that I can just paint this whole thing with. And I'm going to get this brush damp. And then wipe out a lot of that water. I'm going to paint it blue. I think this is how you do ice. I don't know. I don't think I've ever painted any ice besides like I've done a little bit of terrain kind of stuff. Not a big ice painter. We'll see how it looks. And we can use some gloss Mod Podge when we're done to make it look shiny too, which is always fun. Okay. Man, I wish I had saved those wings. That'd have been great for... never mind. All right. We're going to get that miniature painted up. Oh, look at that. There's a little bit of... All right, so I did miss a spot, but I'm sure there's enough spots where there's a little too much paint. So I'm just going to steal some of that and rub it into that spot I missed. There we go, just like that. And we can pick up any of that little excess paint there, really, at this point. There we go. Plus 2 hot air gun burning. And then we're going to let that cool down before we start painting up there again. And let's hit this base. So I'm grabbing my favorite color in the entire world, which is pavement. And we're going to simulate that this thing's in a cave or maybe on the side of a mountain or something with this. And I think that's going to make it a little more fun for us. I'm going to paint that flight stand, but I'm not worried about getting it real good or getting all of it, because I will be coming back to that with another color anyways. I just want to give it an opportunity for paint to stick to it really well is what I really want to accomplish. Okay. Setting our pavement aside, setting our wart blue aside, and let's try to dry that base up a little bit. Now I'm going to get a brush that's real crappy and has kind of like firmish, but they bend bristles. And I'm going to get a lighter blue color. And I'm starting with, survey says, la la la, tropical blue. And this is how we're going to get our variation on the base coat, is with this tropical blue. I'm just using this piece of cardboard. I'm wiping a lot of that out. I did not add any moisture to the bristles on this. And I guess the word I would say is astonishing. Astonishing. Lots of detail on such a little model. Not quite what you'd have thought, but something to work with. Alright. Not a lot of detail on the legs at all, but there was a little bit on the chest and face and stuff. I really want to lighten this model up. So I'm going back around. Just aim for the desired effect. Okay. I'd say that's a decent enough coating that we can move on. The next color I'm going to grab is very light. And this brush is not going to do a good job for what we want to do. It was good for kind of giving this thing a mock repaint, but for the next step, we're going to need a soft makeup brush. So I got a soft makeup brush, and I have my sky blue, which, by the way, to me looks more periwinkle, but hey, I just work here. I got a little dab there. I'm going to wipe a lot of that off. Then I'm going to spread this all around on the brush and evenly fill the brush with this. Okay. And I'm going to really hit this good. And with the two different tones underneath, I'm hoping for some surprising results as I lighten this up another level here. I'm not going to get my hopes up that it's going to be an end result. I know we're going to need some lighter colors, but there we go. I'm going to do that one more time. I'm wiping off a lot of the wetness there, and then I'm going to evenly spread this across the brush. Wipe a lot of that out. I'm going to hit it again. And this time I'm paying a little more attention to some of those cracks and stuff I didn't nail well the first time through. And the outsides of the wings. Now I'm going to put that blue away. I'm going to get the tiniest bit of white. Getting it all in that brush evenly. Then I'm going to wipe a lot of that out. I'm really focusing on the backs of the wings, the outside of the front of the wings, a light brush across the body, and I want to hit the head some. The light brush, we don't want to get rid of all our blue, but we want it to, you know, hit the tops of those wings, the backs of those wings. Then we get white, wipe a lot of that off, get it evenly distributed throughout the brush. I'm going to do the edges of the wings, top of the head, and just the tops of the backs of the wings with that really almost white color. And I'm just going to drag it across like that. Okay. Let's come and look at the base. You can use any old brush that's soft for this. This is a medium dark blue gray. It's called dark blue gray, but it's more of a medium color. And I'm just using this to break up the base a little bit. Then I'm going to come back with a lighter gray. This is called elephant gray. And I'm going to wipe a lot of this off. And come back. Just give it a little more interest. I'm going to rinse out my brush, hit that with hot air. I'm going to take my freshly rinsed out brush, get most of the moisture out of it, if not all of it, that I can. I'm going to grab a dab of that lighter gray again. I'm just going to hit the rocks and give them some interest, just to make them a little more pronounced. I'm just kind of only trying to hit the rocks there. I didn't get quite enough paint on there to get the effect I wanted. There we go. And that's what I wanted. Something like that. I'll steal a little bit of that white color there too. Why not? And just tap those again. Lightening those right up. Now I'm going to get my paint out, my black paint out. And I'm going to do that flight stand. I'm just getting a small brush. So, since she was wearing some kind of loincloth anyways, and we ended up filling that with glue, that just looks like more of a kilt piece or something at this point. It doesn't look like there's just a stick rammed directly up her rear end without any kind of protective layer to make it PG-13. We don't want anybody to realize, how this is connected. And then once you get that nice and evenly coated in black, which I seem to be spending an awful lot of time on, giving myself more chances to mess it up. We're going to do some stuff here. So I'm going to let that sit for a moment. I'm cleaning out my brushes and putting them away. You can do what you want in this spare time. Oh my gosh. Coughing and dying. That soapy water is an enormous payoff. Until you introduce like Mod Podge or something, then it ruins it completely. Alright, so I'm going to hit this with the flight stand with a black, or with a +2 hot air gun of burning. Then I'm not going to focus on an enormous clear coat, but we're going to hit a clear coat. I do not have the fan on over my paint thing today, which is a mistake. Though I will say my electric bill has skyrocketed, always having all these lights and fans and stuff going. I'm not joking. Like, between this and some other changes around here, since we started YouTube, and I'm not blaming YouTube, but our electric bill has gone up $100 a month probably just from me, spending more time with lights on, doing stuff, reading stuff. I've been watching a lot more stuff than I used to watch. Always have fans going somewhere. 3D printer's back on. It's been off for a year. I mostly keep it off, but I have been 3D printing more. So this is essentially what we came up with, but it's ice, so it's got to be shiny. So what I'm going to do is I have some gloss Mod Podge here. I'm just getting a dry brush. Like this. And you don't need it to be too thick. I went way thick on this, so I'm going to try to spread it around the best I can and save myself some material. Now, If your miniature is a little bendy and flexy, like mine was, keep in mind, Mod Podge will help sturdy it up sometimes, but the majority of the time, without an additional media being introduced, like sand or baking soda or something into your Mod Podge, it doesn't really add much to the strengths. Mod Podge plus, like Elmer's, yes. Mod Podge by itself, not so much like you would think. The nice thing about Mod Podge is it's not water soluble. So like if you were to mix it with something else, like glue or whatever, chances of it actually breaking back down with a little bit of moisture are slimmer. But no perfect answer. You have to find the balance of what works for you. Or you can just copy off how I do business and hope it works for you. All right. So, as I said, Mephits are about 4 foot tall. Let's assume he's about 6 foot tall, so we're in that ballpark. It's probably 3.5 foot there. But on the flight stand, it's going to be more noticeable on the table. I think that gloss is not showing well through the camera, but he is actually a little bit shiny. He's not overly shiny, but it's working. So this is the Ice Mephit. If you like what we're doing here on the channel, please hit like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, leave a comment. Asco and I would love it if you guys came to the Discord and hung out with us and joined our little community of crafters. And we're not just, it's not just only exclusively miniature paints. And even if you look at the beginning of paint night and stuff, we have invited every type of crafter. It's not just for painters, okay, miniature painters or terrain builders. If you crochet and do stuff like that, like Mrs. Doom crochets, Lady Doom, big crocheter, we welcome that kind of stuff. We're still interested to see what people make. Like the amazing ability of human beings to create things. Even if you might look at it first and say, oh, that's not great. Then you look at it again and the techniques that were used and what they were trying to accomplish. And sometimes it can blow your mind. We got a fellow on there that carves spoons and stuff out of wood. He's just learning how to make miniatures now, getting into D&D. We have a lady who crochets and does, I think it's called needle felting or felt needling. It's crazy cool. She made a Yoshi head and a bunch of other stuff. But there's people on there painting minis and stuff, and there's people doing other things too. So come join us, hang out there. That'd be sick. We'd love it. And also go to the website and buy some minis. Now, if you look in the description of this video, there will be a link to the website and the Discord. We'd like to see you in both. Until next time, let's look in the book real quick. I don't remember what the next entry is. I'm getting old and I forget stuff. So after Mephit is Merfolk. Oh, good. As I was hoping, another fun one. So there's the Ice Mephit, and I've been Doom. See you later.